Alright everybody, we're going to talk about the Shackles today, and we're going to talk about why Darkest Dungeon 2 is going to need more bosses like the Shackle for their final section, and less like the Seething Sigh. Now I'm not going to really dumpster the Seething Sigh too terribly more, because I think I've already said that more than enough. So, let's talk about why I think the Shackles are so good to begin with. I have the Plague Doctor, Man-at-Arms, Grave Robber, and Hellion. It's a combination of DOT as well as just straight up damage. I did not take the ending fights very well against the cultists, as you can see I'm sitting 5 stress on both people, but thankfully this is not the Seething Sigh and stress isn't a huge issue. So practically I'm just going damage, heal, sustainability, and extra turns on the Hellion, which is not as great as a strategy against the Shackles as it is the Seething Sigh, which I found out. I actually should have stuck with more damage and HP options, but I went didn't really get out of my mindset of extra turns, which actually really hurt in the end. So, we get fortunate, we get a critical right away token. That's sometimes what's going to happen. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good volume here. So, we do take down the reach one right away. Now, what sucks is I don't have my range skills, which is obviously what Pirouette is, as well as Noxious Blast. So, I'm actually pretty much forced to just do Repose Howling's End and I forget what I do in the Grave Robber. I might just take the stress, to be honest. I don't think I move. Thankfully, this boss doesn't do too terribly much stress damage. It can, but I can't do anything because I really want to activate Repose, so I do sadly have to take that extra stress. So I went from 5 to 8. That's a negative of taking the boss fight so wrong. But let's talk about this, what you see already, right? So as you can see, the reason why this is good boss design before I continue too much more in the narration, I've already had to play differently, right? Solely on walking into this boss, I got Denial of Reach, which means Grave Robber and Plague Doctor were already a no-go. And also what you notice is I now got stunned on the Hellion, which means I have to do extra turns of other stuff. Therefore, I can't just rely on the Hellion to just do the burst damage she usually does, so even though I was able to give 2 times damage to everybody, I'm actually really not able to use it. And you'll notice I do Defender here because the Plague Doctor eventually will be another main source of damage. And also what you notice is a double blind token, decent damage on 2 different people. Once again, another stun ability. Now thankfully, actually that one should have been stun. I thought it was. But regardless, there's at least 2 stuns on here. Now I can't heal. So once again, this boss is chronically every turn. You're not sure what's coming and you have to play different. Each individual Shackle is a respectable amount of HP, but it's not insane. They did have to buff it at the beginning, and I do agree with that choice. It was far too easy. I beat the Shackles with actually only 3 people in its first iteration. Once they gave each more Shackle just 15 more HP, it actually really changed the dynamic of the fight, because I believe they also increased the damage. So between a little bit of that HP and generically more damage, it was actually just far too much. So what's really cool about the stun here is, and why I just can't just keep pumping out damage as I would against the Seething Sigh, is I had the damage token, I'm not able to get rid of my Winded, and I wasn't able to focus more attacks into there. So this boss is constantly changing my plan and not allowing abuse to really happen. And here's another Paralyzing Fear. Adds vulnerability. Okay, so the one's a stun. Crippling Doubt. And once again, the Shackles have a lot of double hit abilities. That's something Seething Sigh kind of lacks. And I think final bosses are going to need a little more of that. Obviously, the Seething Sigh does the ending whole AoE thing. But I think generically a little more double hitting abilities are going to be needed, as all the single attacks going just into one person can really allow you to abuse taunts, as well as obviously tokens that give you an extra % chance when hurt. So I think if you're going to have another boss, it's going to have some form of spread damage, but also some like decent burst damage, I'll call it. You obviously don't want, and I think I mess up here, but regardless, but you obviously don't want to have something that just heavily focus fires one person, because there's a couple of ways you can get around that and abuse that in Darkest Dungeon 2 at its current iteration. So they're definitely going to need a little more spread, because spread's really hard to heal unless you get something like that. Because obviously everyone functions off of a lower HP heal, which means you can't solely rely on the fact that you're going to, right there, Paralyzing Fear once again, chronically shutting down the Hellion. She asked for that focus fire, but now she's getting stunned for it. And that's something that they're going to have to look forward to in future bosses. If you have someone get focus fired, you're really going to have them get just absolutely trashed, either physical damage, stuns, blinds, vulnerabilities, lots and lots of stress. And I don't think you're going to be able to get away with just having a singular strong attacks just keep going to one person. And what's really cool about the Shackles, now that we're finally progressing in the fight, is the fact that we are going to now witness the Shackles get stronger, and obviously the order in which we're going to take care of them is obviously going to change as well. So now that we got rid of the melee one, we're in a predicament where we kind of need to focus Lamentation next, because we can't really leave that to be the second to last one, as half my people do ranged attacks. So now I'm in a way focusing the that Shackle, because it's highly important to my game plan. And once again, I keep getting stunned every other turn, so I can't exactly just do what I planned on doing the whole time. So I have to find this balance of offense, keeping my people alive in between turns where I can heal, while also just trying not to get too terribly stressed. So like I said, as I said, we are going to try to focus full fire into it, but 90 HP honestly is a lot. It's nothing to sneer at. So it's going to take a little bit. As you can see here, Denial of Reach is just going to practically shut down my party. Now, I already had someone who was stunned, so it's not a complete shutdown, but, you know, if the Grave Robber was available, it really would have. Once again, I can't do anything other than skip my turn or swap. I'm pretty sure I say just swap with the Grave Robber, but once again, it's making me think, do I just skip my turn? Do I shuffle? I got stunned. So I essentially lost half of my party's turn just because I decided not to really have any melee skills where I was stunned out of them. And once again, the paralyzing I do resist, but it could have just stunned me out of my riposte as well, and that would really stink. And you do have to watch out who gets hit the most. Okay, another stun resisted, which was nice. Paralyzing Fear is the vulnerability one. Yes, okay. So that's vulnerability. Now I got 3 vulnerability tokens, the possibility of getting smacked on 2 different characters. And once I start killing off these Shackles, it doesn't mean things get significantly easier. They get stronger as Shackles die. So as you kill Shackles, yes, they theoretically get weaker, obviously, because they don't have as many turns. At the same time, killing the Fortitude one heals everybody, so I can't kill the Fortitude one yet, because obviously I'm going to get massive HP back, so I can't touch that one really. I can bring it low, but I can't finish it. And obviously I have to get rid of the Denial of Reach one, because if I don't kill this Denial of Reach one this turn, which I can't recall if I do or not. So okay, that's a good thing. So that 1 HP, and I attack the other one. I'm chancing that Denial of Reach will be done again, which is huge. I can't remember which one goes. Okay. I guess I could say I got lucky, because I mean, if I would have got Denial of Reach, I wouldn't be able to do damage this turn, which really would have stunk. So that is a gamble. That's part of it. You have to think, do I gamble not attack it because I may not be able to actually get another turn to use all my ranged abilities, which would not have made me lost. So I actually crit kill it. Didn't expect that. Remember when I said you gotta be careful with what you do? That's why. Every action you do may have a issue with it. Now thankfully I'm doing so much damage that really the Shackle's gonna die next turn, no issue, but I do allow it one more turn. It's another paralyzing, it's more damage. It should be Denial of Reach. I think they can't do the same Shackle in a row unless it's obviously the last one, so it should, yes, Denial of Reach. So now I just Denial to Reach myself because I got greedy killing the Fortitude Shackle. Now like I said, it's really not an issue. Well, usually once you get down to the bottom 2 Shackles, you've probably won. There's just, it's just to the point where you're just gonna win. So at this point, we can toe-to-toe, and I don't even know if that Reason Shackle can actually hit the front row, which makes my taunting kind of useless in a way, to be honest. Now, thankfully, I do have a few skills where I can heal up, so I don't even know which one I use anymore. What do I do? Why don't I just heal myself? What am I doing? Who knows anymore? But regardless, as you can see, this whole fight, you couldn't have told me how it's going to go other than hopefully you believe in me and I'd win. Because it's chronically so different. There's so many things that can happen. There's so many things that can get denied. There's so many things that you can get stunned out by. 33% chances may not have happened a lot on Mahelian, i.e. never. I don't think I actually ever got a 33% chance to go. So this whole fight was chronically different, and it makes this fight a lot more fun. I remember walking into this fight, and I should have done it live with the camera and mic, but I didn't because I was busy. But I found myself slightly irritated, and what do I want to say, like, surprised. I gotta admit, fighting the size so much, I like went in with my game plan, and I just would race the boss down, so I can't hit the front row. I'd race down the boss, and then I got to the Shackles, and I was like, oh, it just completely keeps messing up everything I want to do. I have to move people when I don't want to move them. The person I'm stunned is like, I can't combo. I can't use the grenades when I would like. It was phenomenal to replay this boss, because honestly I didn't play the Shackles for a long while, and I'm kind of sad I didn't, because it's such a good boss once you realize like what a bad boss can be. I did take bosses for granted. For the most part, Darkest Dungeon 2 has done well with their bosses, but going from this final boss from the other one is just a huge difference, huge eye-opener. I really appreciate this boss even more now than I used to. I thought it was always a fun fight. I just played it so much, I got kind of bored of it, but I went so far away from it that I kind of forgot what it was like. But for all those reasons, this boss's damage mechanically is perfect. The stun makes you interact. It will throw your game plan out the window for some rounds, other rounds it won't. You'll have to think about when to heal. You may get denied the ability to heal eventually. So it's really cool. It's really good. And I hope that when they make more bosses like in this game, I hope they're more like the Shackle in terms of damage, and they really make you actually think and not just stick to your game plan.